Hey guys, thought I'd pop in again. Late night not shenanigans, right? Um, had a pretty good day. Very good day actually. Uh, had some snacks while looking at snacks. Oh, anyway. Um, got around to watching that movie. Oh, whatever. Oh, the full title eludes me. But as you can see, it's online there. Something Stanicky, right? As John Cena in it. Fairly hilarious. Um, my mind started wandering though, and I squirreled, so I gave up on it for a bit. But let's say gave up. Put a little pin in it until right. I have determined that I'm now going to refer to I don't know. It's a hard one for me. I can't figure out whether I want to name a cat Stanicky or whether I'm now just going to call the fake panel writers, fake call-ins, fake this, fake that around the YouTube street. I'm just going to start referring to them as Stanikis. It's really a toss-up right now. You gotta find humor where you can, right? And I thought it was hilarious. Give them all a group name too. Tragedy Pimps and Stanikis. And little supporting protagonists, villainous protagonists. Or antagonists, whichever you'd like, but villainous nonetheless. And all the little fake this and fake that. Whatever's around here, right? Much like old Bones and everybody else got caught at, but most people with discerning minds with logic and common sense know that that takes place around these blocks every day. Around and in each and every active and ongoing case. It happens and it's being done to you all, and those people are being used to decimate, destroy, slander, libel, harass, and pick up the garbage that others out here with less than discerning minds, common sense, and logic can see, and they go on with the narratives, and it goes out to the water coolers across America, and people really believe that bullshit of those in and around, you know. So there's the harm, right? It ain't just funsies, it ain't just trauma. They almost, and they do. They rely on people to buy the garbage, the Kool-Aid, the fake panelists, all the Stanikis, in order to continue to fill this realm, pack it with people, keep their crap going in each and every act. ongoing investigation. Sort of rely on that. Anyway, I hopped on, um, speaking of Stanickies and whatnot, villainous wannabe critters on the side who will never be a main anything. You know, you can call them protagonists or antagonists, although they do antagonize. Um, seen one of these goofy goobers, a long and well-known one around the streets. It is always looking for that attention, especially mine. Like I said, it's creepy and scary and has been for several years. Buffalo Bill, misery style. Hello, sweetie. What are you doing up here? Huh? You're not supposed to be up here. Couldn't help it. I just brought you in. Okay. Yeah. What are you doing? No, not that. No. You don't have to touch it. It's a square. I know. I know how you and your people feel about squares, boxes, but you don't have to touch all of them. You have to sit on them either. Donate the electronics. All I can see are your eyes glowing over there in the darkness. Oh, goodness. That was a big yawn. Anyway, this goofy goober, and I hadn't checked in a few days. Someone brought it sort of to my attention. It's like, oh God, what now? Like you see his lineup of latest pinpointed stalkerish can't stop in the bushes posts. I'm like, no, no, I'm not actually, like most times. Um, what do you mean, do I know them? Original Lady in Red. Can you expound upon that? Go into a little detail. What do you mean by no exactly? What is your definition there? As far as Hiltz goes, I do not know him any more than you all do. You all probably actually know Hiltz better than I, because I don't really watch, don't pay attention to him, never really have. Hell no, Lady in Red. I did not, nor do I now know either of them in person. Then, so you all probably partake and know more about Hiltz's sorry ass than I do. And Ernie, no, I know what Ernie is. I also know he's not all that well. What I also know is he should not be targeted by anyone until he's running around interstates about to get shot because he's been triggered by folks on purpose. He shouldn't be set up, terrorized to death. That's what I know. Even though Ernie's Ernie, Ernie plays in this field too. Ernie is what Ernie is. He has a very long, sordid history of it. Ooh. Why are you here trying to distract tonight? What's your point? Why are you... You got anything better to do? And I'd love for you to explain why you think I know Marie. I didn't know Allie very well either. And my gosh, who would give a shit? Tell me what any of those people have to do with Summer Vanish. Now, Allie may have very well known something. She's gone now, unfortunately, but the fuck that Ernie or Hills have to do with it? Anyway, I do hope you do wonderful things with your goofy goober theory there. Whatever it is that you have in your head that makes zero sense. Anyway, I don't know, but why are both y'all mentioning? Why are you in here two by two mentioning that piece of tragedy pimp garbage? Hmm. Oh my gosh, July 15th, 2019. 555. God bless. Anyway, what's your channel activity look like? Curious. Dang. Whole activity in the last year of these 3 or 4 comments you've left on my page. And the account's 4 years old. My God, wonders never cease. May have been in red. I don't know. Law enforcement will figure it out. But over here, yelling at me in cabs ain't helping. What the hell's that got to do with anything? God, I'm not gonna help play into your old. I'm not. You gotta go, man. You just gotta go. When you gotta go, you gotta go. Not here to play in your old bullshit tonight. And with the goofy goober stuff. I'm just not. I don't care how you feel about that. I'm not your goddamn entertainment, man. And I'm not here to help y'all with all this goofy goober stuff. It's not my thing. Alright? I ain't here to help y'all with your pet conspiracy and nutty theories and You garbage. This is not what I'm about here. Take it elsewhere, man. It's the garbage I'm talking about. Bunch of Stanikis. Anyway, so, like I said, I read the dumbest line. Right? I got a Buffalo Bill. Something about saying that or implying that I think someone online is responsible for taking some. That I just need to let it go. I don't know, I'm not going verbatim here, but it was something along those lines. It was stupid. It was like, when in the world have you all ever heard me accuse anyone or creator or anybody else of ever taking summer over here? What a hot load of garbage. Now I know y'all heard C&D and everybody else say that. All these creators, right? They're all here like, oh, I think Bones took her, I think you took her, and whatever. Because they do have their own Stanickys, right? That seems what it's been about since June 15th. It was slinging crap out there, something imaginary, or freaking DCS took her Russian organ harvesters or something. Um, I do not swing that way, nor have I ever. You know, I've never been like, oh my gosh, Josh at the lab, you took her, you're, any of you on it, like, what? Meanwhile, I kid you not, Buffalo Bill was like, it's driving you crazy. Not everybody here on the internet's responsible for taking some. I'm like, what? Man, if you looked at your criminal record there, Buffalo Bill, you got some problems in the background. Alright? Anyway, I had a good chuckle at that. Because I don't think anybody around this room has ever been like, yeah, JSB really thinks one of the creators. You know what? As a matter of fact, have I ever named anyone? Have I ever slung, shit anyone like the rest do? Like the Freds and the C&Ds and this here, they'll come out here and be like, oh, this one did it, and that one did it, and this one, and blah, 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 and here, let me get you this newspaper article, and let me whatever, and this person and that person out of the community and around the world. No, I don't. I do not. Oh, wait, somebody died 6 weeks ago. Let's blame it on them. I don't do that shit. Do not do that. As a matter of fact, y'all have never heard me say who, what, when, where, I think, you know what I mean? I'm not precise. Just I don't come here and I don't speak on all the things I think or all the things I know or witnessed or any of that. I just don't do it, right? I don't do or say a whole lot so that it keeps others from even being remotely identified or gone after or headhunted the way we were. And so that others aren't terrorized, harmed, um, tragedy pimped to death, their lives inserted upon, destroyed, their children tracked down, tampered with, like ours are. I don't do that, man. You know, and also because there's just like not everybody can be it. So anything any of us say from the aspect can get someone wrongly targeted or the public to believe, I don't want that for anyone else. So therefore I don't do that. It's just, and then it's like, chances of even one of us closer to this than, say, the public or the types like Lady in Red there. Still, any of us being right um, on who, what, when, where, why, you know what I mean? Like, before Ellie is not very good. So, therefore, um, none of us should be really going, hey, this one, that one, the other, whatever, you know. Oh, Lori, I'm not with you on that. I think we will absolutely know the truth. And I know in my soul, with everything in me, that Summer will be found. And they will make rest. I just, I feel it in my soul. And I think the truth, the answers, I think a whole lot's already known enough to be there, you know. I think whatever, I think a lot of things. But I absolutely do have faith in these feds and law enforcement. Either way, so for me, it was like, I giggled at the comment, statement, accusation, whatever the hell it was, wrong. I honestly assume it's playing into the dissemination and wanting of attention over towards it, geared around certain things. It's always up to some stuff, you know. It's always up to something. I'm pretending it ain't. Listen on Buffalo Bill thing. It's pretty icky. Um, and honestly, if it lived any closer, most time, and like it's like I know better than even speak to it around it. It's probably why I know it's not. It just has problems, man. It just has problems. It's like for years, I just, no. I try not to give any more attention, but oh, running tests, and you speak to it one time and expect months of just garbage. But it's definitely up to mucking, you know. Uh, I see you down there, bunch of sillies. Anyway, I for me, I don't actually stray that far. I know I don't say a whole awful lot about what all the puzzles or fires or things, that I go through every day, trying to find the answers, right? But, I do not stray that far from at least what law enforcement has said publicly. Um, I don't go off on these woo-woo nutter theory garbage like aliens or DCS or Russian organ harvesting. Um, some freaking cartels in Mexico nonsense or anything else, right? I just don't. And because I don't say a whole lot, people have attributed a lot of things or tried to speak for me or to say what I think or what I believe or this and the other, right? And most of you every day are wrong. For me, you don't stray far from what at least law enforcement said publicly, which honestly has been all, despite what these tragedy events have fed you, they've always sort of maintained that all possibilities are on the table. Um, Despite your old goofy goober tragedy event stuff with the unfounded or the didn't lead here, 1 minute it did, or somebody passed for all these things, right? Um, for me, I tend to stick to controlled foul play of some variety. Um, it's sort of where I stick. You can take that as way, as you like, but for me, I think it's some sort of controlled foul play. Um, I don't, and though this realm has always said, oh, well, JSP believes she's kidnapped or abducted, whatever, it's not necessarily the case either. And even though for a few weeks I was kind of stuck in that zone, I guess because a pebble had been kicked in the pond, I still didn't think what you all think I thought, I guess, or whatever. I don't know. Mine was pretty singled in. Um, but if that were the case. But it took me a few weeks to understand that that pebble kicked in mattered and it was actually opposite of what I thought. It took me a bit to work through. But even then, in the earliest minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, I operated and thought and watched and puzzled and whatever in very much way that all possibilities were on the table. Because even though I guess that was like the main thought in there because of a pebble tossed into the freaking pond, I still looked at all things, listened for all things. Return of predator, predators. I listened for certain sounds. I listened, especially at night when noise would cut down exponentially. I listened for Summer's voice to maybe wind through from somewhere and hit my ears. Thinking, well, if they're going that way, there's got to be a reason. Maybe she is in there. all possibilities. So even though a certain pebble had been kicked into the pond, it still sort of functioned and processed and looked and listened and everything in a way that all possibilities. And always have. Maybe it didn't seem that way to the public, nor does it seem that way still because of how much of an aversion I have to, unlike people around the world, they're out here doing whatever in chat streams or theories, this and the other. They can say that and type it and do all this with nothing, with um no film on it, right? No, I don't know how to really explain it. For me, it's hard enough to think in that direction, though I can do so internally. It's not something I vocalize very often, but I've been aware since the beginning. I'm not an idiot. I just, those things hurt to think about, feel, hear, listen to, see, especially for me in general, let alone, yeah, and then, but I'm not unaware of all possibilities. That does not mean that, I want to talk about those because those things are like, to me, right? I don't like it. I don't know how other people, that know some are honestly do though. So they've been like, what the hell? Not everybody's built the same, I guess. You know? No, there's not endless possibilities, Laurie. All is far from endless. But for me, I don't stray too far from at least what Ellie said publicly. Um, I do think that if someone actually took her, it will be most likely someone she knows or is known, someone around family, someone brought in because of lifestyles and this and the other. It's come into contact with her that may not be exceptionally close, but was on the peripheral, the edges of, Um, I know they say strangers unlikely, though for me it goes up more than say the average just because of property sales, um, wood cutters, brush cutters, it's a thing. Uh, but also I think of other things in play, you know, others in and around the community, others with potential motives, others that could have had the potential to be watching her and them for years without them even realizing. And just as I know that I and my child were being watched for years, some have even vocalized our habits and things down to details that were scary in the years. I just, yeah, there are a great deal many things for me to go over. But, for me, I just, nobody on this earth will ever get me to believe that she wandered off in those woods herself. Never to be seen again. Nope. Just not gonna happen. I give a shit who you are. It ain't gonna happen. The thing is, even if she had wandered off into the woods anyway, whatever happened after that, it wasn't just her. Do you understand what I'm saying? So therefore, nobody ever is gonna get me to believe that she wandered off into the woods all by herself with no interference at any point, not to be seen again. Just not gonna happen. You're not gonna get me to believe that. There's interference or something that took place somewhere along the lines on June 15th. It wasn't Summer just wandering off into the woods. Even if that is what happened. I mean, that's what they seem to think happened. But some days, depends on which clip and piece, you know. But I mean, if she just wandered off into the woods, then why are there suspects? Call me crazy there. But there wouldn't be a host of suspects and all possibilities on the table. She's wandered off into the woods and like perished because of elements and things. You know, somehow for days unfound by some of the best equipment on earth and searchers and you know, no. Unheard by neighbors, and I wasn't the only one out at night. Let's make that clear for the 4 billionth time. Others would have heard her because you know at some point she would have gotten tired, even if she'd been high up on ridge lines. She would have naturally, without even thinking about it, made her way back into hollows and things like that. Because your body gets tired. You don't want to climb higher when you're exhausted. You want to go lower. You know, and these houses and things are closer than you all think. I know most of you only know it from Google Images and whatnot and maps, but you know, if you're exhausted and you're tired and hungry and cold, you're going to go to lower. It's going to be warmer in the valleys. There's going to be more things in the valleys. Sort of lights she should have been able to see would have been. Um, So you're not going to continue to go higher and up more and more and more and more. You're just not going to do that. Um, Especially a little one. It's no. Okay. And I think one of us inside that community would have heard her after, especially certain hours when most of the noise would die down, though they ran equipment and the big boy stuff all night even. It was a lot quieter. You had to kind of listen hard to hear some of the equipment being used flying overhead and things. But, um, you know, you don't wander off into the woods as a child and perish because of elements or anything, and then there be an entire list, well, suspects. You just don't. You just don't. And they can say that you don't have a list over here, but Ansley gave as close as you got to one, and I don't think she did so all casual or slip of the tongue like either, but they made sure y'all didn't hear that. They made sure to keep screaming at y'all that there was no new news. But actually, if you listen to Ansley, well, there actually was that point, but these tragedy pimps didn't want you to hear that because it narrowed down the pool, didn't it? So, you know, and those somehow at the 2 year mark still included C and D, those close to Summer at the church, Grandis, outward other family members, and the neighbors. And so the list goes according to Ansley. And I don't think she just casually dropped that bit for no good reason. So unless somebody inside of that pool of people interfered after, I guess, Ellie or whoever thinks she wandered off into the woods, I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, I don't think any of y'all have ever heard me say it, the creator or some goofball online took Summer. I think somebody's got me confused with C and D, accusing all the creators around here. But I ain't never said any such thing. Uh, Cause that's just plain stupid. Now, is there a possibility some goofball out there, and well, I'm not gonna say goofball, predator, was maybe interested in one of the properties for sale? Wanted to simply Google, check out neighbors before they move somewhere. Mm, Come across Summer's on Facebook or Dawn or Candace's whatever, latched onto her, and I mean, there's always that possibility too. Because let's be real, it's where we live in these days. So I mean, yeah, it's a possibility, but that would probably have to do with back end property sales and somebody that came to her was inquiring about. And I think in those regards, LE Feds would have checked who was calling, realtors who all um, was on the websites looking at the properties for sale, tracking back their IPs in this area and figuring out, any known predators, that type of thing, that were way too interested, or if then they went to see, I mean, there are investigators out there. It's what they're called, fucking investigators. So, I'm sure they're tracking all it down, But, If that's the case, I'm sure something will turn up. But, otherwise, my only thing about anyone online is that, there are quite a few things very dark and deep around Summer and her case. And, it looks like some of those instantly, and I mean that in a, besides the tragedy pimp circuit here who does all this criminal stuff and destruction of and headhunting and all the garbage around each of these open and active investigations and the communities and everybody around them, besides all, there is and has been a very real nest of real life lives here, near here, insertion from some very wormy bits and folks that do tie and connect to certain things that I find a little more curious. Uh, but I know that they are indeed here and been here and wound up tied up in and making their presence known even online and wrapped around certain folks since, well, even before Summer vanished, but definitely after, obviously, because the online aspect. So it's trying to figure that out, unwind it, cause, effect, that type of thing. And what resides underneath and behind. The little critters in the darkness that tie to certain things here locally and otherwise. So, you know, and some I think have used that obviously. Even some of your creators, known abusers, others have used it. I think some though, it's like trying to figure out if it's another Stanicky, right? A distraction or part of a built narrative, though it does actually exist. You see what I'm saying? It exists and is intertwined. Has been since very early on and even before. But it's definitely intertwined with this YouTube tragedy pimp shenanigans stuff. But I fear just because of it mutually combining that others have used that as a narrative for more Stanicky type shit, and it's trying to figure out if that's the case. More targeting shit too, from even those here on the ground, and using that to do certain things. another symbiotic type of relationship. Just trying to figure out what's what. So that would be the only way I would think anyone, quote, online would be responsible. And it's not because they're online, it'd be because they're tied into something that's present already and it's just rearing its head in ways and being used for the potential more Stanicky narrative goofiness and to confuse and to create chaos, but also to falsely target others and to just do business via online means as well. So that's about it. But as far as summer vanishing, I think it will most likely be someone close. So I don't vary that much from Ellie. It'll be someone most likely known, someone at least on the peripheral, on the edges, um, someone around because of the lifestyle over there. I also think that, say, if something happened to her over there that day, accidental or otherwise, and if anybody was involved in shenanigans to help with or to help start chaos or anything like that, right? To hide anything. They would be those exceptionally close to. Um, in order for it to be this far out from June 15th, 2021, it would have to be someone, I think. For me, I don't. Depends on which fire imposed, I guess. But if you go by the idea that Ellie seems to have spoken on publicly, stated out loud that she wouldn't be far away, that, I think, then would only leave a select few. And I think in order to be this far out, they would had to have had vast knowledge of certain areas, cameras, ways to travel, you know. But they too would have only had certain timelines. which means they could have only gone so still have a lot of area. But it would only leave, I think, so many paths and ways to travel that could be very easily, I think, narrowed down. You know? But then I also know that there's also the possibility that, and I don't know. I mean, your mind wants to go, well, how in the world does anyone take her, get her out of there, anything known or unknown to her without being seen? But then you realize she's rather small and easily maybe not seen and kept controlled in some way, you know, little window lines in a car. I mean, to where cameras didn't pick. I just, but then you think, well, surely they went and checked every vehicle they could find coming and going either direction. And put scent dogs or anything in and out of all of them, but honestly, it's damn near impossible unless, I don't know. But there are ways in which she could have been transferred in, around, and out of the community through other methods, and I know that Ansley and Ellie have told you that too. But if that is the case, it's going to be by someone very well known to her, most likely, and someone very knowledgeable, more so than even 99% of those in the community would be about certain routes and things. And then that in itself would narrow down the um and the routes, you know. but I actually don't vary that much. I guess at least Ellie's thoughts, tool or not, spoken for reasons or not, on all these different news pieces, articles, etc. But a damn sure can't even believe Buffalo Bill over. That's the dumbest thing. Everybody on the internet's responsible for taking. What? When have I ever said that? Never. Really think it's got bullshit mixed up with Cindy, or it's just pumping out narratives for my $5 this week, or because it's in Woo Woo Land somewhere again. It does love it there. Well, it does. Anyway, um, I think there's also some other things going on right now that I think are pretty important to place here, but I'm gonna hold back on that for a bit. They all sort of have to do with some of the things shaking since um, we went over some receipts there, such. So I'm gonna hold for a bit. More of the SSDD type thing, you know. Um, a whole bunch seem to be up in their feels about that. Um, considering most of those are people who contributed to everything and have tampered with, messed with us in the most horrendous of ways. Done some of the most set-up-y things around in targeted whatever, committed the blackmail against I and my family, all these other things, man, from top to bottom, and those playing with those that were part of the fake lawsuits and everything else, and the tampering. I ain't got much for any of them right now, and ain't ever, and won't ever. Um, but because it, mm, yeah, like always, they can't see that or own it. They gotta find their own Stanicky, like blame, right? And you know, turn around on those they've done so terribly, act like they're heroes instead of our villains. Yeah, no, they're all gonna miss me with that. I'm so tired of it. It's been years of it, man. But for right now, because these things are a little intertwined, obviously, I'm gonna reserve and hold. I speaking of, I guess my these cretins and their continual needful things that apparently supersede all decency, normality, humanity, anything remotely resembling a compass of any kind that's based on a semi-normal sense of um, morality, where everybody has their own sense of that. So you can't really say morality. It's like, well, by whose standards? But by human standards. Anyway, as far as their needful things never being fulfilled, you know, that's the thing about most of these, right? They're no better than ticks. They will latch on, and if not dislodged by some sort of outside interference, um, purposefully so, or, you know, located in a spot in which they're able to continue feeding long after they may have fallen off. Um, and, gravity versus and, weight distribution versus and tiny little legs and whatnot. But if allowed, a tick will literally eat until it explodes. And if placed in just the right. These creators are no different. And it's because of what type of people they are. Monsters, criminals, whatever. Some just greed based, others are because of some sort of emptiness, some void that cannot, will not be filled by whatever it is they think they're chasing here, getting from this environment or what they're doing to other people. It'll just never be. It's something, you know, a great deal on this planet go through for many varying reasons. But a whole lot of different types of monsters are always after that next thing, the next this, whatever. They're always trying to fill something, like in the FILL sense, right? Um, to cover something or whatever, and it'll never be so. And no matter how much money they get, no matter how much fame they acquire, no matter this, no matter that, and the next, it's always very much of an adrenaline rush or this. I mean, it's a thing, but I just today though I've not been on here much. Doesn't take but a cursory glance. You could literally open up the phone today and see them as they're continuing on with several cases, right? Especially those here across Tennessee. It really is a smorgasbord for them. It's disgusting. Um, but in like just turning on the phone and what loaded in an automatic way, those like Dolly and others trying to go on the ground and other cases, but aren't they always? Now, in these cases, the other ones, law enforcement, everyone else have already called back searches. They've called back Cajun Navy. They've done all these things. And then as these tragedy pimps want to hit the ground and asking for plane tickets and this, la 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 la, right? And their little campers there, yeah. When are they gonna break those out? Anyway, without breaking down, right? Hint, wink, nod, like the last several times. I'm pretty sure if law enforcement is calling back all these things, including the Cajun Navy and others and whatnot in this air. They damn sure don't need tragedy pimps hitting the ditch lines with a flyer made again. In any other case, we're looking, you know, They don't. I will tell you, because of our experiences here and otherwise, none of y'all's boots on the grounds and tragedy pimps were ever needed. No Jill R's, no Olivia's, no anybody else's to jump out the fucking ditch line to go search, let alone all the fake searching they've done and going up on damn Bays Mountain and sticking with trails going, we're looking in places that don't even fit timelines of things. Oh, let us walk a pathway and a sidewalk, you know? Yeah, they're really searching. Um, anyway, I just don't think y'all should be helping send any more boots on the ground tragedy pimps to any more locales or cases so that they can then mind if you like they've done so many others with the same playbook for so many years prior to Summers and otherwise. Nobody cares. Nobody in the community knows. There's not flyers up. There's this. There's not that. And oh, look, I've got a flyer, and let's go yell at some offices that are closed or law enforcement. They don't care and they're not doing their jobs and shaving and hunting people down and going to find a neighbor and a non, a Jeremy, a fry guy, you know, whatever. Or any of the nope, no. Y'all stop that. Y'all stop sending these boots on the ground asses to these locales to terrorize, destroy, and come back with some bullshit. It's like, good lord, even around here, how many times do you think they've come back to develop the same freaking footage of Ben Hill or the purposeful doxing and how-to vids by here and all the things and all the seriously, I mean, I'm joking much as crap. And how many cases? How many? Well, you know, especially after Summers, what kind of shenanigans they really get up to behind the scenes around real people and what they're really trying to gather while there isn't, any evidence or clues or anything. They're trying to come back with tragedy pit material, drama, their boots on the ground provocateurs like the MGLs, Justins, Mallory's, Bullhorns, Dollies. Remember that? Yeah, it's really what you need on the ground. Some clowns and chairs and whatever else goofiness. While the rest of the team and all the others and the locals they found with YouTubes and things, like the 423s and the cams and all of, they do the little ground level and the birdies and the Yennifers and all, and they get super dirty and the lady justices and all the little critters in between. The Duncans and all the assholes and the weirdos like chicken on a stick have their own vendettas to terrorize and pump out. I mean, like, and all these things. That's what they bring you. Is they hunt these people down for literal cash payments between creators and little ones on the ground and all the needful things. They're not there to help these children, women, victims, survivors, fighters. They're not there to help the communities, law enforcement, or anything else. They're there to help themselves and to help mine F you and to continue to watch and to continue sitting in places and just draining the well dry at the destruction of those real families, victims, survivors, fighters, law enforcement, courts, court cases, the communities. Wouldn't it mean the tampering up and down the board with everything? Please stop sending these boots on the ground types to these places. Please. Please stop encouraging that. They're not there to help. They don't help. They do so much harm, though. an astronomical amount of it. And a lot of the times, and for years, they were able to silence those in and around other cases that they have been doing the same thing to, like they did just in Summers. They've been able to silence those. Um, they've done all these same things to, because generally speaking, they're in and out of cases rather quickly. And those people do not have the time in which it takes to grow their voices or channels or methods of speaking out to call these people out about being cleansed, terrified, blackmailed, threatened, their lives destroyed into oblivion if they don't shut up. And they have obviously done that around several of us here. Some are still going through it. I got through it yesterday. Last night, I guess you could call it. You know, I'm getting very vague or otherwise, but it's one of those. They silence everybody, and they've been able to manage that for years. There are not too many around each case in the years before Summers or after that are overlapping that have been able to maintain a presence or a voice in order to continue speaking about what they do, or to out them for it, or to ferret it down, or call them out, or stick with them like the hounds from hell, that type of thing. There are not very many, if any, really. Some do indeed have the tenacity of a stupid junkyard dog, though. Um, and were afforded the ability to continue to speak and to grow large enough to do so in ways. Speaking of that, um, I've been sort of letting things run for a few weeks now. What, going on close to 2 months? Right about, you know. Now, there are natural reasons with certain changes and things happening with this platform and other valid reasons, of why the uptick where it concerns my channel. But I know it's not as it appears because it doesn't take a super genius. It doesn't. Um, and when it first happened, that Penny was like, I was like, right. I went too awful long ago. And then just waiting until Cher, our abuser's favorite handler lately, and Benny mentioned. I'm like, right. But I've been watching, waiting until, there's enough things to then compile and measure. instead of just a week or 2 weeks, 3 or 4. And it's kind of, the theory I had's kind of borne out. You gotta look back at them views, see which ones have gotten the most. I'm not a dumb girl. And so, in that, I have also run a few tests to put certain wording in certain titles. And I've watched and I've recorded as. So I'm guessing a certain camp has been pushing certain things that they're absolutely responsible for, especially when certain titles are named or hold certain wording. And I think there's a very real reason for that. One that centers around how they think me speaking about that, and then being able to say, well, there's X amount of views on this, look at this. She's basically doing, look how large the audience was for those. But the truth is, it was not, and is not, but it could be made to appear that way. These people are, they try, man. They try. They do. They truly will go to, I guess, paying $10.99 or whatever it is, Sharon BK and them proclaim things cost in order to make things look certain ways. And that will then, yeah, just, it's very manipulative. I hate for Google and other tech things to out any type of fuckery like that behind the scenes to show that. I really would. I'm kind of curious enough to contact them and be like, hey, bros, back there, what's going on? Can you send me some proof and receipts of that, please? I'm curious. I'm just that curious. Luckily, I have 943 lives. Until, I guess. Yeah, and here's the thing of mine. Because you know, and I know, that if I can prove that's the case, it shows another level of tampering. And a way of trying to tamper with anything going in front of, say, courts or law enforcement, feds, or otherwise, or civil suits. Tell me I'm wrong, enhanced. But look, there's 50K in the video where she's talking about this herself. But don't pay any attention to the 12 likes and the fact that there's still nobody in chat speak. And look at the packing in of something. Give me a break. And the only ones mentioned are the ones that have seemingly the most to be concerned around about. And who keep mentioning it and bringing it up. Oddly enough, that'd be Penny, Sharon, Benny. Odd, isn't it? Enhanced. And look, I've let it run for weeks. Look down there. Click out the page, Enhanced. Go down through there. The last 8 weeks. See which ones, which titles, which wording has the most views. Mm-hmm. Subject matter will also count in those. I've noticed that as well as I've recorded. How many are coming and going? Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I had to give it time in order to have a baseline to go on. Couldn't just call it out in a few days. Anyway, I am hella curious. Just enough to contact. Mm, mm. I mean, it's no different. You can think of it this way. See, the group has this thing to do, but, Mandy, I really think there are thousands watching us, like, well, really any of your creators. Come on. It's like, some of them literally have the same amount of subs, and you really think there are thousands in there? What? No. That percentage, it's off anyway. And now they're being pretty sloppy this far out. They're also being like, well, we're trying not to overlap each other with lives. Or these rooms have always been timed to kind of keep you all going every day, right? And then that way they share you. It's like fish barrel, you know what I'm saying? They don't want to step on each other's toes, but it's to rotate you around all day. And to take certain scheduling is there. But it's also because a lot of them, you ever notice how many are into the gaming community servers too, and what they buy and pay for around here, especially in lower tides and things. And they can direct certain things, certain places. And that includes what makes you all think there are really thousands watching these janky ass creators every day as you run from room and think, oh, these people must be the end all be all because there's 1.1 or 2,000 people watching them and percentages don't add up. Yeah. I have oceanfront property to sell you in Northeast Tennessee. And they rely on your lack of tech knowledge, awareness. Dirty deeds done dirt cheap in the background, troll farms, gaming farms, subs, that type of thing. I just, but still, what I will tell you is it's amazing what these channels, who nobody actually really watches, how far they're able to taint everything and destroy communities and cases. It's amazing. And to normalize this type of thing into the real world and the partaking of it. And it's not good. There has got to be an antibiotic for this type of infection. It's accurate, Dad just said not long ago Floppy implied your channel was going to grow. Well, he used other words, but that was the gist, yep. And then remember one of them, and I'll share the other day, implied exact amounts, cost, and this or that type of thing. Penny was the first to bring it up. When that one weird anomaly happened a while back, my God, see what y'all are gonna do, Anyway, and I also think it's a play to see that if I have an ego-driven thing, or oh my gosh, look how many people are watching me thing, and I'll finally spill the beer. No, I hate telling this, but I still operate on the I don't give a crap if 6 billion or zero are watching you. I mean, just don't care. Not like that. And that ain't gonna cut it either, my dudes. But that's not entirely it. I think in this case, it's being done for what they want things to look like for upcoming cases, civil, this, the other, blah, 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 for narrative. But look, she said this in front of 50,000, blah, blah, but it's not legit. You understand what I'm saying? And how's the debate? Real views are the same as always, but everybody's kind of low and everything right now. So probably 12 real views here. Yeah, enhanced. I've never done so. I've dare be like, click that bell, subscribe, like, do whatever. Yeah. And those that come here doing that, I'm like, no, don't do that. We don't do that here. That's manipulative behavior, dopamine releases. We just don't do that here. You know, I don't like it. Mhm. Anyway, there's more than a few funky things going on, and more than a few things I've been keeping my eyes on. Obviously, as always, throughout time, months, days, weeks, but yeah, that's been one of them for sure. And then they threatened me with it. Remember, just a few days back, that if somebody contact Google, somebody let them know. Bitch, you ain't putting that on me because I ain't done it. I think somebody else is very much responsible. A group, a team, if you will, for reasons they think are going to work for them. But boy, it's that asking for receipts from the tech companies behind things. It's pretty easy to get if you ask correctly from the right place. What in the world is going on? But yeah, it ain't ever gonna come back this direction, because this direction ain't doing it. But boy, wouldn't that be a nice receipt to hold and to show another level of fuckery by this group trying to manipulate certain things in and around courts and stuff. It'd be wonderful, really, to hold that. And I'm over the garbage. You noticed? Absolute antipathy or antipathy, whichever way you prefer to pronounce that. Tina, I cannot recommend listening to me while you drive. I hear I put people to sleep better than Ambien. Please do not listen to me and drive. It cannot end well. Don't do it. Yeah, it's kind of the way I prefer to say it in ants, but others pronounce it differently. Y'all had a guy last night. I'm not kidding. I get this is gonna make whoever the red lady was feel some type of way. I'm sure about whatever woo woo QAnon Wayfair goofy garbage craziness they had going up there. I'm sure it'll make them feel some type of way, and then whatever 6 channel deep thing they have going somewhere, pump out garbage or whatever chat they're in or somewhere. I'm sure it'll be something like, see, she reacted to, and she was a little. But here's the thing. Or wait, no, I don't know, Buffalo Bill. One of them is getting ready to feel some type of way about what I'm going to say, and then they're really going to be like, oh God, you know, we knew it the whole time. But Lil and I were out, and this guy asks me for my name. What's the name of it? I give him my last name. Next thing Lil and I hear is, order for Brad? I don't know who the hell Brad is. I'm like, what the hell do you mean, Brad? You know, I'm paying attention. Y'all, took me a minute. Took me a minute. And then my brain went, wait. I think when they repeated that back to you earlier, they might have said Brad. Oh, I bet you're Brad. I was Brad. I was indeed Brad. I was like, well, we've advanced from just Sir to now it's Brad. So now I've decided that I'm anybody else that asks me a last name for an order, I'm gonna come up with something else. I'm gonna give them something else. I'm gonna give them like, I don't know. I may start giving them like Little's last name that she's adopted in the past few years because she changed hers, and or something. I'm gonna give them somebody else's last. I'm gonna make up some sort of last name that they can't mishear anything, to where I'm not left in places going, "Where's my order?" and "Who the hell's Brad?" That's what I'm gonna do. I'm like, God bless. God forbid the Yennifers or the Duncans or any of our 6,004 stalkers with Scott H. or the rest have come by every day. Or, they're just locals and happen to be, but then feed out Scott all the info and abusers and everybody else. Like, God forbid any of those who follow us or happen to be in a restaurant locally that feel like making $5 to tragedy pit over here. Graders. Here's somebody holler out the name Brad anywhere in our vicinity. or call me Brett. Whoo! They'd have 6 weeks content. They will now, just because I said that. There'll be 600 woo-woo squirrel nutters running amok around here like the D bushwhackers and nature whatnots and the other being like, it's a bet card, it's a thing. She just said it, see? She was a brat having a date, you know? Swear. Yeah. Anyway, so I think I'm gonna have to check into like vocal cord transplants. I'm gonna do something. I'm just gonna have to just give out a name they cannot mishear, even with my little whiskey one tone thing. Either way, Lil and I had some giggles. Because, I guess others be like, oh gosh, but I find it funny for the most part. But anyway, yeah. Speaking of things like that, take note again today that, like I said, you can open up the screen, you can see it for yourself. You ain't have to tap none of the Tragedy Pimp channels. Once again, they're in such a rush, trying to latch on to anything and everything they can. Every case, get in there real good and tight, blah, blah, blah. That once again, well, you can't say once again because they're always doing it. It's like Summers, man. Even still, I watch these creators, they hashtag her name and everything and anything around her and whatever in the titles and descriptions and no capitalization, no punctuation, not spelled right. You still have creators who are closest to the hill calling them like the well, like instead of the wells. It's wild. My good lord, save us all. But it's like watching one title, they had hand instead of hands in it. And I'm like, my god, how much of a rush were you in to get up there with whatever this crap is? And then in a community post, you should see the way it has allegedly. I guess they're not used to saying that or spelling it or reading it. I don't know what the excuse is. But I feel like handy dandy notebooks cannot apply. Maybe they should for some, but maybe if they had, oh, I don't know. Either way, like if they're that freaking illiterate, tells me something about their comprehension and intelligence levels, and that They can't possibly be the best of detectives. They should probably just not be trying to detect. Right? That's how I feel. That's how I feel about it. What did I just do? I just did something to my nail. Hmm. I think, my rather large possum in his bag. I think he ain't gonna give it up. He's like the size of a moose. You think I'm joking? I'm the size of a moose. Uh, he's definitely one of those that, instead of living out in the woods, he is staying at somebody's house. He's pulling a spinning nut bag, through the neighborhood or something all the time. He's, definitely made himself an involuntary pet or something because he is not naturally sized. And if y'all have ever seen, opossums, like, have you ever seen them when they're pets or when they've been held in captivity? They can grow quite large, but natural predation, cars driving, all that, you don't ever really see them in the wild to where they ever grow to that size. Um, this one is literally the size of a moose. So I know he's been up to shenanigans, building spinning night bags. He, at some point long ago, was like, Woods, F that, I'm out. There's garages, there's cellars, there's whatever. That's where it's at, dude. And he's been doing this for a long time. And now he's made his way, I guess, here around the block. But this fella's like the size of a moose. Rodents of unusual. I don't know. They're so cute, though. I don't care what anybody says. Especially those that are pets and things. If you ever seen them when they're able to get to larger sizes, they're just so chunk. You just want to squish their little cheeks. Uh, you know, they do eat ticks just. And unlike raccoons, um, and others, they, Like every time you get bit by one, you have to go have a rabies vaccine series done. No, I mean, I guess you're gonna be really on the cautious side. You might, but their temperature is it's about 1 degree too off to hold or carry rabies, but they do and can sometimes, but it's very rare for unlike raccoons. It's always the damn raccoons the reason I always have to have rabies vaccines. Every time. It's the raccoons that get me. Uh, I still pet them. That really is going to be on my epitaph. Right. Petted the wrong thing. Died fully happy about it, though. Was in blissful heaven. Petted the wrong thing and died. But very cool. I'm like, come here, Mr. Bear. Let me just touch it. Squish its cheek. It's a thing. It's a lifelong thing. It's not going away. I feel like I have to pet all the things on Earth before my time here is done, or I just don't know if I can, like, you know, live happily. I think it's something that was very much like for my brother, like in common. Like if we could both travel the world and touched all the critters and jumped on like gators and crocodiles and got bitten by every snake and fish and shark or whatever else, we died happy about it. I saw a fella petting a blue ring the other day. Well, you're brave. I don't know, I'd probably reach down and touch it too. So, yeah, I probably would. If it didn't look angry and such time, and it felt like there was like, I had like a millisecond of timing there available, I probably would touch it. Indeed enhanced, I'm certain of it. Certain of it. All critters just want to cuddle. Certain of it. I think I still have at least two major things on a bucket list. And those include going to that Crocosaurus, whatever it is, over in Australia. I need to go there. I want to. I have to. I have to. I need to be lowered down in there in order to die happy. And also being able to, like, I would love to be able to, like, swim with or somehow be lowered into the waters with deep blue. They're on my bucket list, man. Dreams, am I right? Yeah, don't say that. You'll get them started again, man. They're already likely to clip it. Radiation safety be damned. Oncologists recommended be damned. Don't get them started enhanced. Hmm. Speaking of, you were being talked shit about by a certain Buffalo Bill too. Found that rather amusing. Um, what I found even more so with a certain Buffalo Bill, and I feel terribly bad. I might actually remove that line. And it ain't because I feel any type of way about harmony there. Unharmonious. Um, it's because I think most of us here with discerning, logical minds and common sense, you could actually detect something, especially when in front of our faces, is that, let it go up on panel because, well, yeah, I knew it was a thing anyway. I was kind of curious. I also knew where it come from. I also know a great many things in the background, so I'll let it. But is it? It does not take a super genius to then walk right over there to a certain lockdown, who also happens to be playing for the abuser and C&D and the others. And while it's going through its things to show receipts for others, um, on its, oh my gosh, look at my poor mod nonsense, right? But it's going on about some other receipts for somebody else or shares butt cheeks or whatever it is, right? And that she somehow solved Summer's case with by sending to Don Wells. Uh, yeah. Anyway, so it was something like that. Either way, all you gotta do is zoom in to see that Unharmonious and Lockdown were in full contact. And boy, if you have the recording to show timing, on the emails shown there versus the time the live's airing and all that, you can tell there was clear context. Before the live, things were planned. It was supposed to jump up on at a certain point and read off its garbage, which, by the way, I avoided and did not listen to, nor do I care to. I was given a synopsis, and that's all that really counts some days. Oh my god, I'm shocked. Oh wow. But goober muffins are in here will eat anything fed to them. But that Buffalo Bill, not a detective, and definitely a thing around the community for years. Um, that can't own its own shit because it's not all quite there, and I don't know whatever its problem is. Um, really thinks that I was heckin' mean, and that thing is really not a thing, and it's just some poor whatever, and then they really must know things, know all the information or something about something, and Summer's case, and I'm like, man, you gotta be kidding me. And now when I say that, I know it's not. It's what to bring attention to that thing and put out narratives and garbage that target us, gonna make us look a certain way around, not harmonious at all. And, I don't know. Seems to be helpful to a certain crew, doesn't it? That narrative type crap. But yeah, you'd have to be a special type of stupid to have listened to anything that was saying over here and thought, yeah, boy. I mean, I think most of us are giggling, right? I thought it was quite transparent to most, and you have to be like a double type of idiot to then go buy anything lockdown saying that. And it, I think all you really needed to know that it was a mod over there, and that should have canceled it all out. But no, apparently it did not for certain people. They really think that was all very real human-esque type behavior, wasn't a thing. There are people out here who really think that. And that type of thing around here really astounds me. But then again, considering the Stanicky aspect here, does it really? People are still really buying garbage like that. Fake panelists, fake writers, the goofy goobers, creators, the shenanigans on those who pretend not to play them, and the shenanigans those get up to while mind effing you into making you think they're anti-tragedy pimps, and they're just doing the same thing the rest of them are under that guise. It's astounding. But yeah, thing is under unheard, that thing is a thing. Correlates to all kinds of other things around here. From way back till now. Make no mistake about it. But all you really gotta do is look over and zoom in on lockdown screen as it's going through other things and not paying attention. But I guess you probably have to have a recording of when that was aired live to understand that. And much like I do, of the time versus time and contact and plans put in place prior to. And then think about what it interrupted and I was talking about. And what certain people in their camps didn't want heard. Or I guess let me just say it loud because I don't know. Thought it was new to me. Blame Benny. Many things are in here his fault, but that's also his fault. Some things flew my head until listening to the way back crap I had not heard prior, and I was like, wait, huh? Probably wouldn't paid much attention to it or ever had a second thought about it, and it not come out of Benny's mouth, who seemed to be obsessing about it in the very early days, early weeks and months and such, and while targeting me again with Scott and the rest of the crew, and all that during certain cycles, but definitely those first months and year. And after coming back from certain places, and all that, I probably wouldn't have put much heat into it or had the, wait a minute. Huh, was he obsessing about that thought right after coming back from around certain folks and being cheerleader for and having a supposed breakups with? Chances are there's some truth to that. That's why. Which had me hella curious. Oh well. And then it stuck. And I was like, wait. Hmm. Probably wouldn't have held as much weight if it hadn't come from his dumb mouth repeatedly in an obsessive manner at that particular time and date that I then came across eons later because I had not naturally had that thought myself. Still a stupid one because you still have to factor in all the other people and witnesses and all the things of June 15th. But I guess, like I said the other day, maybe certain people perceive it that way. That I and my children and what we witnessed seeing her that they like certain things. And it's never really been about the scream at all. And on that note, there was something else today. Very early this morning, I was having my coffee and I touched the button. And I'd never heard it before. I hadn't listened to it. It's from some of the others, right? And as most of y'all know, I keep myself very separate. Always have. Um, Obviously, in the past, what, year, I've been willing to listen to some of the others and what they've had to say throughout this in a um in a lengthier fashion than say prior to where it would just be cursory things, things on the outside edge, clips, whatever. And let's be real, it's quite possible to avoid whatever each other sort of save in this realm because they can hashtag summer all names in a piece all day long, and they have 900 times a day. But they rarely talk about anything any of us have really said. No, do they? They don't really play those things unless they're in clip form or narrative form. And therefore, like myself, I know better than the countless thing. Just so, um, in that way, it's very easy unless we go search out live streams of each other or very lengthy panels, things like that. Then it's kind of easy to sort of avoid what the others have actually said and to avoid them in ways. So it's kind of been around here until last year, and then here and there I'll go listen to this, that, or the other, but still not in entirety. Like I just, I know, no, but I still, I've not gone and sought out everything and listened to everything from all of them. I don't want to. All this bullshit, right? And I know in order to find little pieces, I probably should, but I just, ugh, makes me cringe, man. But I did this morning when I was having my coffee, decided to press a button, something I hadn't heard, and or seen. Um, and it was quite lengthy, it looks like. And take it from an even larger thing than that, but I heard some things in it that were pretty curious. And revolve around a certain time. With contact follows still sort of in place. I just was very odd. But in those little things. Because that's the problem. But listen to if there's always things. And those things can lead you up into rabbit holes and garbage. But 99.9% of it, is bullshit. You always wonder why, I suppose. But also not really. Because to you, the same things applied June 15th. Okay? Everybody run yourself. But either way, little things, right? They'll lead you off into even the things you can tell. I just, but it's the purposeful lies. Some of them so astounding to me, I don't understand how they're being said without any issue. No, enhance, I don't think anything reflected upon me. Uh, mm, others are just up to shenanigans. Nobody uses me. With you, I let you up because I knew what it really wanted was mostly to interact with me, and I didn't feel like I wanted to interact all that much. I wanted to see how it behaved with others as opposed to myself. Because it has indeed been watching, which tells you how woo-woo it is. And because of what I know in the background about it and other things, I just decided to take a step on back. Because I knew that to be best. For reasons. Anyway. Well, yeah, that was kind of the thing. It was a multifaceted, been watching, studying, took too many modules of BK, painting and rest machine. Definitely watches, but also um, all kinds of other things in the background. Regardless, I think anybody with half a brain could see what it's up to, and all you really gotta do is enhance and enhance lockdown screen to see this setup. The shenanigans it proclaims it doesn't play. It's pretty funny. Anyway, and if you hold the timing of that, it shows that those conversations were in full effect prior to the playing and shenanigans were already in place prior to that visit I got suddenly by a lockdown mod slash creator that come back here with hit pieces after leaving the wells, that plays their abuser, that does the things, that release the info to the internet. Come on, guys. You know. Anyway, I don't think it worked. Are you really back there being extra? Number 5. Yeah. I see you. What is what is it? What are you doing? Oh my goodness. What was that, number 5? Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Is it my tone? Huh? My goodness. Oh gosh. Oh no. Oh no, number 5. Oh no. Oh no, number 5. Okay. I'll save it. Oh gosh. What's after you, number 5? Oh gosh. Oh no. Come on. Come on, do it, please. Oh, what's after you, number 5? Oh, what are we looking for? Are we looking for whatever Mama's tone implies is... Oh gosh. Hmm. Come on. I figure if I call them numbers, what are they gonna do? Sue me in Sesame Street, like with some more fake lawsuits for their family members in order to tamper with judges? We better watch it. They're gonna... Can't even believe it. Barbell and Michael Kowski. We better be careful. Some other freak show related to our abuser filing false lawsuits. Be suing us, Oscar the Grouch, and Big Bird. How do we get to Sesame Street? My God. Just call that cat number 5. Count Dracula. Not kidding. What are we looking at? Number 5. Hmm. You watching over here? What is over here? Hmm. It's over there. See, my belly's a little upset. See, I had my first little dose of Burma today. Did me? Yeah. Said Mama wanted to make sure everything was clean, clear, and under control, and none of those nasty things mess. I said, so we got our first little dose. It, me. So we sure did. So we finally got our big boy that can wait on to where we could have it. Yeah. Hmm. Anyway, just chilling like a villain. What are you looking at? Oh, no. Oh no. Oh, and you're making me itch too. Well, shouldn't have done that. I did it anyway. I bet the sharks and the crocodiles wouldn't do me this way, number 5. I bet they wouldn't. Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings, number 5. See the way he just looked at me like I'm sorry. Latest. Like I heard its little feels. I said I was heckin' sorry. Nah, this one's actually solid gray. The other two are black. You just can't tell because of the lighting. You're not getting on there. You know that's not where you belong, number 5. You people in your dirty little kitty paws, maybe go through 9,304 disinfecting wipes today, bro. I couldn't see you want that. Playtime. Go that way. Alright, and he's off. Yeah, enhanced. I noticed that. It's all bright eyeballs. But that one is solid gray. The two little black ones are like they're like midnight. You ever seen like little spider eyes in the grass and the dude where like the night just shines just right under the blanket of you ever seen like the webs on hillsides and things they do? It's like it just hits right and all of a sudden the whole place lights up with like millions of spiders. It's kinda what it reminds me of. I'll be in bed or something, like hear a noise, I'll look back or down or something. I'll be just like, ow! Why are you staring at me creepily in the middle of the night? All I can see is the shine. Seriously, you've never seen that, Nance? It always looks kind of beautiful, like even at night. And you'll find those in places that um like it doesn't happen everywhere. It's like here there's certain spots in the woods that it's happened like as long as I can remember since I was little it still is occurring now that I'm an adult in those same areas. I assume because of many reasons, but there's certain parts of the banks, certain parts of the woods that uh during the right seasons, and not only but like all day long you can like walk past these areas and not realize that actually there's like this very fine spider like and it's made by not just like say one spider and a billion babies, but like by like thousands of them and all their babies, whatever, but it's like this interconnected mass web, but you can't see it really and unless you're under the right conditions, you cannot see it. Um Fog and things, misty mornings, you can see them quite well because it lays on, and the moisture and the dew. Certain times, but for a brief period before the sun burns it off. But it'll depend on how the dew falls, how much, during those times. And if it can get to it under certain canopies or leaves and things. But either way, you pass by certain areas with certain lighting and catch it a certain way at night, and it's just like a billion little lights are twinkling back at you, but they're spider eyes. And it's sort of amazing. And it's gotta be one of the most beautiful things. Like, there's dew, like on morning glories and stuff. It'd always be beautiful, I think. But there's something to be said about those um, ground spiders and things that do that. Because these are, mostly ground spiders that do. Yep, I'm perfectly okay. I have something in the corner of my eye, and I probably should not have touched it, considering I just touched the cat, and that's probably what's making it worse. It's probably what started it to begin with, and it is getting. Yeah, and I was listening to something. But anyway, yeah. I don't know. I I was gonna touch on the other thing that I'd watched earlier, but It's like the breakdown right now, you know. Of it. Still kind of working it over in my mind. Anyway, it is nice to know, though, hence that Luminous, who links to so many, is playing a role in the Green Eyes garbage and links back to really only certain creators. But, you know, take that all with a grain of salt. I don't think and well, not really, because, like I said, there's a great deal, many more receipts. Right. But, still, yeah, not all things are as they appear. I think the mention of suddenly greenhouse being vanished off of people's Facebooks is wow, considering what we watched in real time as I was putting up those receipts in the Johnson account for it. Just one of the three that were all so very different from one another. And disappearing in real time because somebody felt some type of way. And now suddenly somebody over here is all like, oh, disappeared suddenly off mine too. That's hell of timing, ain't it? And at least two of the three green, well, really only one of the three green eyes. It had this habit of threats, but then sending music, threats, sending videos of music, and then what's now around here is the green eyes count. Music, short bids, targeting at mostly at others. Still not got that original green eyes. Jacobs fell on it. All three of those counts that I showed are vastly different than one another. And they're all still different than what was happening entirely during Facebook days and over voice calls. It's much like and I'd hazard a bet that the person talking for Green Eyes is different than, say, the people typing. Much like I bet the person typing for Slay was vastly different than the name given or the person said to be Slay. You get what I'm saying? They've all been going around here hunting Slay saying that is, but the thing is, I'm gonna bet that Slay's a Facebook, a name given, a name attributed to the fake Fed. But the problem there is that Slay and the name given was absolutely the one given to the real Fed. See, so that does apply there in that regard. However, I'm gonna bet the one typing and pretending to be the fake Fed could have potentially or possibly been otherwise. Sort of writing samples. And they did change over time. Certain word usages, things that it depends. Some of the later formed emails and such, um, that were put out here or sent to me that were during recycles of that bow tying and all that other things 40 different times. Um, Things I've seen out in public. The language that then started being used in those, I think there have been many playing with and around all things. No different than when stuff began for any of us as we were hunted down. 40 public messages in our inbox, 40 owls and raincoats, right? 6 different people using the same Facebook accounts to message us. And if you're not good at language or picking up on, seeing that all these things change, you probably never realize you're talking to 6 different people in one inbox. So our entire vernacular. So, yeah. Question is, really, and I'd love to have whatever the feds have with whoever actually called in, because I'm sure they have the recording of whoever's voice it was that dared call in to that real fed and say that real shit. I guarantee you they do. But I'd love to know, and maybe one day we will. And if you were in the discords as they're really happening, all this stuff was occurring, have my ideas about who actually made that call to the real Fed to do that, and who gave the name Stacy Slay, etc. But the thing is, they did indeed give that name to them. Just like us and to the world, whatever, who were responding to Facebook. But you can clearly see at one point because Benny in his rush to aha screwed up and showed that him or the other party that did stuff one night still had access to Slay, were in communication with, and had access to that Facebook Messenger in real time. It was an oopsies on their part. Oops. That wasn't all that long ago. It was during one of their rinse repeat cycles of whatever around it. But it's much like Q that time. Taking a piece from my Facebook about Slay and then using it in her post to try to target me and to whatever around it. But it actually proved what I was saying, and then She outed herself for being the one to initially get all the select emails and then pass them over to Scott and Penny at TCC in real time. Like she had sent it to them, they read all this, but that couldn't have been. It kind of annihilates the narrative around Linda checked, but then wait, Scott checked the emails. Wait, no, it was just Linda, but also wait, Scott dwindled them down, and Linda would go through them, and then, which makes zero sense at all when you hear Linda talking about having to email Penny herself through True Crime. It's like, wait, what? But you're in control of that email. What, you take all the stuff down every day and then you just leave yours included so Penny will read it eventually? Come on. They try so many buffer systems and hands off crap around here, don't they? Oh dear, hold on. Alright, so we're kind of having a catastrophe there for a moment. And they just felt like meowing, panicking me. Anyway. Playtime of the Munchkins, man. So anyway, I think I'm sort of off here right now. I'm gonna rest, chill. Um, Probably do some more research, have a snack. I have this real urge for snowballs currently. What the fuck? I don't even care what that noise was. I'm just like, it's fun, it's fun. Oh, which one of y'all made that noise? I didn't know what type of noise that was. Whatever. It was some sort of cute noise. I didn't want to guess. But, yeah. Just like snowballs. chill, rest, research. I don't know, something. Um, let the cameras hang 10 tonight and do their thing. And obviously, the little alarm triggers didn't go off with her, so I have a feeling it's just a possum the size of a moose. Say some sort of hacking critter. Maybe I should go pet it. Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of feel like I could not walk around for a few minutes. And then snack, research, dreamland, that type of thing. Ugh, so tired. It's been a big old day. Yeah. And I'm gonna have to wash my face. Because my eyeballs doing a weird thing. My nose, face are lit up. And I'm gonna figure out what to do. But anyway, you guys. I just thought I'd bring some attention to the tragedy pimping at a glance today. Didn't even have to touch any of the buttons, really. Just had to open up any the YouTube browser. It's in the titles. Go ahead, look at it. Like, oh, look, misspelled this, not that, blah, blah. It's all there. SSDD. Close it down. Carry on. So, no, they're really hecking care, though. They would like some plane tickets here. Anywhere from east to west Tennessee to disrupt, terrorize, headhunt locals, witnesses, anybody else, insert insidious manners into their lives, pull some more criminal shit, silence them, uh, because they know that most of these are quick in and outs, cases closed fairly quickly. And they can silence those that they do this garbage to in and around most cases, or that people will never know what links they go to do these things. And it may not occur to many or ever be known to them. Read these communities. Or why it's so unwise to be screwing around with any of these people. Nor thinking they're ever going to be of any use or help. So whatever. Their destruction. And that's it. It's as simple as that. And, like I said, many a time before, that seems to be their goal and objective. Not to solve, but to do the opposite. To destroy, contaminate, decimate, and do things that way. Cases remain open, go cold. They can destroy finger, blue, whatever, for years. And also, they think, and I think a lot of them, it seems to be a thing too around cases where they've sort of gone a little too far to try to then either cover themselves or to destroy a case. Because in that regard, civilly speaking, especially if nobody's named outright, so they can continue to pinpoint and do whatever towards certain people. And unless those people can clear themselves, do whatever, then they think there's legal buffers for that. But It's not really the way it works. It's much like chicken on a stick coming in and being in those groups way before, um, and knowing people way before Summer vanished and her behavior for years prior to, but, um, coming immediately into those hidden groups with Squall and others, and eventually making her way to panel, took me months to notice. But coming out and directly calling people murderers and this together and all that, yeah, that's a no-go, you know. So, but they do it around here every day to everybody around every case. Oh, and I heard somebody did get a strike today. You know, there appears to be a lot of people unaware of TOS, which is that you cannot use the pictures of children or families, etc., around, um, well, subject matter like these true crime nutballs do. You can't just be doing that. It's in the terms of service. Nah, I assume those like, so, yeah, I mean, everything's way out of bounds, like what Solve and them did, but and then otherwise, you know, there are special laws and protections put in place for others around crimes. On top of that, I know many like Piss Pad and all the others around here, and almost every creator, including Squall, who's put out images of both my children as minors and such, and those like Shay and whatever, They're like, but this, it was a cover photo, so therefore it's public or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Nah, not, that doesn't include Squall, because she stole videos off my Facebook things after being asked to put there by Candace, obviously. Then used them as blackmail stuff. But anyway, in this place here, so many creators have used those stolen videos that feature both of my children as minors. Um, you can't really be doing that. You can't say, oh, well, it was posted on social media, therefore we can do whatever we like with it, because you can't. Um, I can put every photo I've ever had of either of my children as minors open to the public, but that does not mean you can then take them and do as you like or show them. That, in almost every state is illegal, and there are protections aligned for minors. And, also, like in the state of Tennessee, it's like what they were doing with combined taking pictures, littleness, and what Shay had up as her thumbnail, that, like, by one of our local stalkers, and then put up as her thumbnail and things. She was threatening to burn the camper down that time. Um, it's illegal to take pictures or photos of a minor, even if they're out in public setting, um, under the age of 17. It's illegal to not only take those pictures, but then to post them and social. Oh boy. And it's why a great deal many of our local stalkers and things take photos and video, Lil and I together, which is, you know, both of us are usually together. Well, you have it, a conundrum and a problem. State of Tennessee, that's illegal. When you drive by and take pictures. Anything really that features her or others here that are minors and otherwise, you just can't be. It's illegal. State of Tennessee. To even take those, let alone disperse them, it's also very much a no, even if a parent has all their social media pictures public of their children. You can't just take those and do as you want. And there's special protections online for that. No, dog. No. Anyway, some apparently have not read TOS either. But here tell they got a strike. Um, Based on their case. Case they're working over here. Right? That looks like one of the family or other creators levied against them for using pictures of their children. So, and they're totally shocked by it. I don't know how it happened or how it's valid. Okay. Anyway, you guys, and I only say that it's not because I'm like, oh, I went to law school, because I've been told that myself by police. Now, I know they're not lawyers either, but I've been told that in years past, and obviously throughout this, as far as laws regarding children, pictures, blah 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 blah, and that is entirely separate than whatever TOS and legal protections and federal laws and all that go along with Google and platforms and stuff. And so, anyway, I assume one day it'll help things like that, like, shave the crazy train who was doing the gathering blackmail effort from family and stuff, that since she was so lovely to put up photos behind a minor child with one of the local stalkers here they have working for them. I'm a minor kid. I'm hoping that'll work in our favor even further. Then I'm pretty sure all the calls and all the audio of that one. You make no mistake, I have far more than what I've put even on that no words needed piece or otherwise are played for you all. Great deal many more recordings and things of that one and shenanigans. And it's linked to our abuser and others as well. And all the things. You okay, Georgia? In the Christmas spirit? Oh, okay. February 27th, 2011. Trademark name for what? Wow. Okay. A peach from Georgia, you said. I don't know. I don't know very many real Georgia peaches that go around by. And peaches are more debutante flavored, polite, southern than, say, the Appalachian realm. There is a very distinct difference between, just say, southern and Appalachian. And, and I don't mean the entire Appalachian range either. For us, everybody up that way, they can say Appalachian all they want, but we cut it off down here at a certain point, and the rest do not count to us. Um, but there are very distinct differences in females, especially where it concerns Southern or Appalachian. Though, if that makes sense, right? I'm sure it doesn't to some, but Peach, I don't know. Mm, Somebody's being extra this morning. Out there. So anyway, y'all, I'm gonna hop off here. Snowballs, snacks, maybe take a walk about in the dark for a few minutes, stretch, enjoy the brisk air. It's a little chilly tonight. Yesterday night was something. Temperature dropped so quick, like glass was frost over. I was like, what's happening? What? It was ridiculous temperatures. I don't, ugh, March, East Tennessee. Yeah, I say more weirdness. You could never, ever, like, you might as well have 6 outfits in the back of your car every day. Stupid, stupid weather during March. In East Tennessee, it never fails. I'll pass, Nance. You keep 19 degrees right up there where you are. Um, I'm gonna keep mostly beautiful and sunny days occurring here lately, and I think though, I don't know if it's today or the following, it's supposed to storm, but oh, it's been so beautiful and sunny here quite a few days, like even to where I've laid out in the sun. So all about the warmth right now. Nope, I'll pass. I'll pass. No, I've not even paid attention to oh radar and things like that lately. Just the cursory overview forecast. Um, so I've not even watched weather mapping and things lately to know what the rest of the country is undergoing. I'm sorry if all of you all are somewhere where there's 21 inches of snow. Please do bundle up and have some hot cocoa on my behalf, but I'm gonna stay right here. And I'm still gonna be like, but I'm freezing, and it's 84. Okay, cannot tolerate 19 right now. Enhanced. Shh. You're only you can't. It's good. Well, yeah. If it's dropping like that, you know. And so is coldest trap for Dawn too. So I'd expect y'all to go down quite a few more degrees, especially right at daylight. Hey, 21 inches. If you got to unpack that hard enough and it really drops a few more degrees, you could have an ice skating rink. Charge admission. Oh, bless it. Alright. I enhanced. I dropped it like it was hot. I did. Alright. I'm old. It was fun. And I know y'all know exactly what song is in my head right now. It's the Troll's fault, right? Isn't that what Dawn and Mom say? 75% trolls. It's all their fault. Fucking Stanickies. Anyway, you guys, I'm out of here. I'm gonna go on a brisk walk through the southern climes that are nowhere near whatever has got happening up there. And then I'm gonna bring my chilly self in, enjoy some snowballs, do some relaxing research, maybe watch some Bo the Fifth column or something. I don't know. And call it a night. At least for a couple hours. Um, what is it? And that's if number 5 and all its sweet little heckin' fluffy brethren. Well, let me nap. You gonna let me nap? Mm-hmm. Doubt it. I see what they did to him, and I still, y'all. I woke up and I was like, it took me a while. It took me a couple hours. I was like, man, there's something. My arm feels blank. Feels just erased or something. I thought I was having like my usual nerve problems on this side, or just little suckers while I was asleep stole like 4 of my bracelets off of my arm, And I still have no idea where they put them or what they've done with them or where they have hidden them or taken them to. Now, I do have an entire collection and stash of bracelets I could replace those with, but it's not quite the same because most of these, little and I've acquired different places. It means something to me, but also I just can't let it go. I'm like, I'm gonna need you all to go get my bracelets from wherever you put them and bring them back. Yes, I could put 400 more on from my stash of bracelets, but no, I need you to bring those back to me. Some of those are from the islands and all kinds of things, and others are from Little and I doing things together. I just need those bracelets in particular back. It's going to drive me crazy. Okay? I'm thinking about hiring one of these tragedy pimp pretend detectives, Starsky and Hutch types to super interrogate the kittens until we can get answers. See if I can get like a jailer in here with a poster of my bracelets to jump out and be like, I'm heckin' looking! The hell, I don't know what I'm thinking. Yeah, it ain't fun nothing that way. You can't get one of them to pull out a Google Spirit Box for $5.99 and try to get in touch with my bracelets. Hey, where's Juanita? She's a finder of lost things. Right? That's her spirit specialty or things that are going to be lost or whatever, though. Probably shouldn't tell her spirits that because they did not, as you recall, let her know she was getting ready to lose all the things when her house burnt down right before she came in here tragedy, remember? You'd think her living spirits would have done that for her. They didn't, man. They didn't. It's wild that. Anyway, maybe I should get hold of Juanita, but considering she didn't see that coming before she come down here with Little Caesars and Summer's case and being a whole joke. I don't know, I should probably call better. Yeah. Maybe that Salsa Verde one. It was over here a bit back playing Tragedy Pimp games with my chat. Maybe we should contact her, have her do a star chart to locate my missing bracelets. What time were your bracelets born? I don't know. Ask the factory. Anyway, yeah. Griswold Snowball of the pink squishy chocolate coconut variety, not the snowball in the 21 inches of whatever fluffy white raining terror enhanced have going. Um, yeah, m- mine are edible and yours are throwable. Distinct difference. Um, well, I guess you could eat yours too if you're, just avoid the elements. Anyway, yeah, I'm out of here. I am indeed. I'm late. I'm late for a very important date, right? Alright, you guys. I'm out. Y'all do me a favor as always. Please share the DV/Universal Hand Signal. And please continue to share Summer's picture information and call her by her name. And I'm sure all of you have been around here long enough to know my spiel. So since it is 3 plus in the morning, and I will spare you the whole speech, but y'all know what I mean by info and such. Um, that does not include social media, tragedy pimps, any of us, whatever speaking around this means. Local and investigative journalists, the real variety, Hawkins County News over here on YouTube, Rogers Review, WJHL, Kingsport Times News, WCYB, others across state that are real, Bobo, Ansley, etc. It means locals surrounding law enforcement agencies, state police, TBI, FBI, Summers Q&A. Alright, real information. And maybe try to change it up each time you share a picture. That way, people across everywhere can see, read different things, and then hopefully the key. Somebody's got to have it. Somebody knows something. And if they still need us something, you know, hopefully it falls loose somehow by that method for them. Anyway, you guys, yeah, sharing our picture, our information, and calling her by her name is a very real and tangible way of bringing her home to her community, to her brothers, law enforcement, courts, so that and they can tell her story because they're the only ones that should be ever doing so. Anyway, and as always, do not forget pebbles, sparks, one voice, they all matter. You know, pebbles turn into tsunamis, sparks can turn into infernos, one voice can become a symphony, though one voice can be loud. So loud it changes the world. But a symphony is a beautiful thing. Reach out to one another. Be human. Remember the fellow citizens of this little speck riding with you in these vast cosmos. Try a little more togetherness than separatists. Remember that sometimes the beauty is in differences, not similarities. And that we all gotta live here and it's all hard enough. Try not to make it harder on one another. Alright. Anyway, guys. Well, ain't perfect, but we can light up the dark when and where. Sometimes. Be the sparks, the pebbles, and the voice. Yeah. Anyway, y'all have a good night, good morning, and good evening, wherever y'all are. Okay? Thanks for hanging.